Yo, 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 Panther Nation, Pantherologist, welcome to Lunch Break with me right now. Welcome to Lunch Break with Pantherology. So we are going to be talking about what it would look like for Brian Burns' contract extension. Then we're going to talk about the DeAndre Hopkins situation. Going to be talking about you know, should the Carolina Panthers go after him? Would he be a good fit kind of ordeal? So we're going to discuss that. Then we're going to talk about also Jon Gruden. Apparently has lended a helping hand out to the New Orleans Saints. And I guess that's in regards to the fact that they have Derek Carr, which kind of makes sense because, obviously we all know the whole situation with Jon Gruden and that whole situation, what happened down in Vegas and all that craziness with that. So we're going to be talking about that. Then we're also going to be talking about the joint practice with the Carolina Panthers and just kind of going to talk about that with the Jets, which I'm kind of looking forward to. So we're going to get to see Aaron Rodgers and all that in that joint practice. So I'm looking forward to that. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. Appreciate everyone coming and joining the live stream. Before we get into all these topics that I have here, I would love to make sure we give a shout out to the Carolina Panthers Den on Facebook. All right, the Carolina Panthers Den on Facebook. Go check them out. Great Facebook group to be a part of. So I would definitely go check them out. Another thing is definitely go check out betusa.com. That is the sponsorship of today's video or live stream. Another thing is also, guys, be on the lookout for a giveaway. I'm going to be doing some giveaways here soon as we lead up into the season and closer to the season. So be on the lookout for that. And so yeah, just be on the lookout for that kind of stuff. So let's go ahead and get right into it. All right. So the first thing is, let me bring up my screen here. Let me make sure I gotta share my screen for you guys. All right. Let me pull up. All right, well, it is what it is. I just want to see this image. Okay, maybe not. All right, let me share this again. Date added. There we go. I just want to pull up this image real quick. All right, now let me share my screen. Sorry about that. Just had to share my screen here. Well, let me do it by perfect. There it is. Okay. So we're going to talk about this man right here, Brian Burns. So first things first is I want you to think about what we're going to be talking about here. So, it's coming up to the point in Carolina's time with our best pass rusher, Brian Burns, to basically lock him up into a contract extension. It's coming to that point, which it should have been done a long time ago, in my opinion, but that's neither here nor there. But I think the Carolina Panthers will be near the top 10 in cap space for us next offseason. So much of that available money will be calculated to re-signing and extending our own players, right? Rather than going out and adding to the roster. So I think that if I'm GM Scott Fritter, we're constantly going to be adding new pieces to this team, and he'll have to place an emphasis on bringing back guys back like Frankie Louvu, Brian Burns, Jeremy Chin, and then potentially DJ Chark, just depending on how he pans out this year. Now, Burns, we can all assume that he will be the number one guy on this list when it comes to next year and giving contract extensions. In fact, it's probably something I think the two sides have already discussed. So if and when that deal gets done, I mean, really, what does it look like? And I've looked around at like different things. Different people have said different things, but of like how his contract would look. But from my understanding is if when this time comes for us to extend Brian Burns, that Brian Burns will be one of the highest paid defensive players in the league. And his contract extension should surpass around a 5-year, $120 million deal. Now, Bradley Chubb signed, and that's something like Bradley Chubb signed after he was traded to Miami. And it wouldn't be a surprise, I think, if it's around Myles Garrett's, which is $25 million a year. So when you're paying a player of above $20 million a year, that's a big commitment, especially when it comes to a guy like Brian Burns. The value is terrific there. Obviously, 100% worth every dime that we have, especially. I'm not saying take all of our money and re-sign him, but that kind of deal, which is a 5-year, like $110 million deal, is terrific value. I mean, through the first 4 years of his career, Burns has played through, I think, a number of minor injuries, right? And he's only missed like 3 games through his career so far. So he stays on the field, and that's extremely, productive. That's if you can just stay on the field, you deserve a contract extension. And for him, he's done enough, I think, for this team to obviously extend his contract and be one of the highest paid defensive players. Some people might agree, some people might not. I totally get that. But he stays on the field, regardless of whatever defensive scheme or how much help he has on the opposite side. He continues to be on the field. So to win consistently, I think you in this league, you need to have a top 10 defense. And of course, that all starts up with the pass rush, especially in the NFL. This is a passing league. So you're not going to find another guy like Brian Burns out there in free agency. You're just not. And Fitterer knows the importance of having him in Carolina, I think, in the long-term aspect of things. But if we turn back time, Brian Burns, who's only 25, all right, he's already accumulated over 196 tackles, 77 quarterback hits, over 43 tackles for a loss, 38 sacks, 11 pass breakups, and 7 forced fumbles. Now in 2022, this past season, he had his best season posted so far, and he set career highs in tackles, quarterback hits, tackle for a loss, and sacks. He had 63 tackles, 22 quarterback hits, and 17 tackles for a loss, and 2.5 sacks. Or 12.5 sacks. I apologize. 12.5 sacks. So it's easy for me to say that we need to sign this guy. It's very easy for us to sign. We want to sign this guy again, and give him a nice contract extension. So, all right, let's move on to the next topic here. Okay. Next topic we're going to be talking about here is this man, DeAndre Hopkins. So the thing is, should Carolina pursue him? He would most certainly help our rookie quarterback. And of course, I think it was a surprising move that the Arizona Cardinals released him instead of even, and at least not, really even just at least trying to trade him or something. I'm surprised that they just released him. Obviously there was discussions of them trading DeAndre Hopkins. But it sounded like, but from my understanding, the Cardinals couldn't find a decent trade deal for him. So they just released him. And right now Hopkins has all the saying and where he wants to play in 2023. So should we as Panther fans and stuff want our team to pursue him? I think they absolutely should. And here's the reason why. We have roughly around $27 million available in the cap. All right. And there isn't a true number one wide receiver on this team. Adam Thielen, DJ Chark, Mingo, I think are going to play their roles just fine. But I'm not ready to buy any stock into Terrace Marshall Jr. still. And Scott Fitterer may choose to really hold on to that money to pursue more of a defensive end, a veteran defensive end, or an outside linebacker to add to this pass rush, in addition to adding another corner for depth. So that's the thing. But however, I think if you sign a guy like Hopkins, it would give Bryce Young all sorts of comfort in his head going into his first season, right? He would only have one of the best receivers at the helm with him and one of the most dynamic slot receivers in the league, which is Thielen. So I'm sure Hopkins isn't all that interested in really joining a team with someone with a rookie quarterback, but who knows? Maybe he believes in what Carolina is building here and the fact that Central South Carolina wants him to play closer to home because he's from that area. So I think we definitely should pursue him. Now, here's another question do you ask yourself. Is he a best fit for us? I mean, could we really make a big splash in free agency this year and go after this guy? I think Carolina has spent a lot of time this offseason really rebuilding and restructuring our wide receiver room, especially after trading DJ Moore. So we all saw what we did in free agency. We added in Adam Thielen, DJ Chark, then brought in Damiere Byrd a couple weeks before the draft. And then we took Jonathan Mingo in the second round. So from a depth standpoint, I think we are in a good shape there from a depth standpoint. But we still lack that proven number one option, like I said earlier. So that's kind of where DeAndre Hopkins comes into play, right? For that number one spot. So, him being released, the thing is though that Hopkins wants to land somewhere where there's a Super Bowl contender and there's a chance that there is a chance he may find interest in Carolina. It all depends, right? We've got the cap space to sign this man. So money isn't the issue. And maybe kicking in a few extra million to really sweeten up that pot makes sense when it comes to getting a big name guy like DeAndre Hopkins to come to your organization. So, yeah. So I think he fits. Obviously, I think he fits in our team. But do I think that he is going to come to Carolina? I don't think so. I think the Bills take him. I think either the Bills or Kansas City gets him. And I think it's between those two teams right now for this man. But I think he would fit in very nicely with us to have that number one receiver. We've got great depth at the wide receiver room. We've rebuilt it very nicely. So I think that we definitely will see if we even pursue the man. So, all right. So let's move on. Let's move on to the other news. Let's move on to other news here. Share my screen again. This man right here, Jon Gruden, has lent a helping hand to one of our foes, which is surprising to me because I thought, he wasn't allowed in the NFL after everything. But the New Orleans Saints are working with a new starting quarterback. And who else is that? Veteran Derek Carr. He comes over from Las Vegas to take over that offense. And apparently Derek Carr brought a friend along with him from Vegas, and that is Jon Gruden. And apparently he's been spending some time in New Orleans really helping them install their offense. Now the Saints run a version of like a West Coast offense, which is something that Derek Carr is already familiar to. Gruden has many different variations of that West Coast offense, and he's used that throughout his coaching career. All right. And with his pass with Derek Carr, it should make the transition for the Derek Carr a very easy one implementing that. Now, back in the day, the Panthers met with Carr, during the NFL Combine in Indianapolis before we decided to take that number 1 pick and, that trade with the Chicago Bears. But obviously we went a different route. And now that, Tom Brady is officially retired and Carr is widely viewed as the best quarterback in the NFC South in 2023 season, it kind of makes me think that, I don't know, it doesn't concern me, but it's definitely more the fact that this guy is there, but he's not even part of the Saints organization, and he's helping Derek Carr out. So it is what it is, but I thought it was just I thought it was funny how that's worked out. So all right, let's move on to the last and final topic that I came in here to speak about. And that is the Panthers and Jets are holding joint practices. So we're going to get to see Aaron Rodgers with his new team up close and personal this preseason. And especially for us as Carolina Panthers fans, we will get to have an opportunity to really see Aaron Rodgers more than once, obviously this fall. And the Panthers and Jets will be holding a pair of joint practices at the Wofford College in Spartanburg ahead of their preseason game in August. So a couple weeks ago, mentioned that this was going to happen, and Frank Wright mentioned this was going to happen. So I think it's great. I think it's great for both teams. I think you always want to kind of see these kinds of things come into the off season, and because sometimes this stuff doesn't really work out. But some years we've seen it, but it's great to know that we are going to get to, really get to see Aaron Rodgers with his new team kind of up close and personal for us as Panther fans. He's the best proven QB in the South. For Derek Carr, yes, he is. Right now, I mean, he's definitely better than Baker Mayfield, and we've seen that firsthand. I think Kyle Trask will probably end up taking that starting role at some point. And then, with Atlanta, Atlanta is we've seen their quarterback situation. The better part of joint practice just is our offense gets to practice against a really good defense. Yeah. I mean, that's the biggest thing. We also get to our defense gets to go up against a nice offense and see if Aaron Rodgers as well. So we're really kind of getting both sides of the ball. Really, testing our will and skills and strengths and weaknesses and everything. When you're going up against a guy like Aaron Rodgers. So, that's pretty cool. Now, another thing I wanted to go over today, which I did not mention, was CBS Sports came out with their record predictions for every team in the NFL. And I wanted to show you what they did. Let's see if I can pull it up here. I would love to get a nice shot of it. Where is it at? Oh, okay. Here we go. I'm going to share my screen. So as you can see here, we're on CBS Sports, and they got the Carolina Panthers. And it says the Carolina Panthers can win 10 games this year, but will still need to steal one, maybe or two of their 4 road games in the first 6 weeks before their bye. A triplet road trip later in the year really has these trips away from Charlotte abundantly close, which limited the ceiling for them. So it says Caesars has us winning 7.5 games, and then Brinson, who I think wrote this article, has projected us 8-9. So let me know how y'all feel about that in the comment section. I mean, is 8-9 bad? No. Is it better than last year? Yes. But I predicted us to win 10 games. But that's what this is what CBS is projecting for us. So I kind of find that pretty interesting. So I just wanted to share that with you guys as well. Guys, make sure you pound that like button as you're coming in. Appreciate everyone getting in the comment section. Appreciate everyone joining today. Make sure you pound that like button like it owes you money. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and feel free to click that post notifications bell so you don't miss out on any new live streams or videos. Yeah, I mean, Josh, me too. Make sure you check out betusa.com. The link is down in the description. Promo code Pantherology. Sign up for free today, and you get a free $50 bet. Be on the lookout, guys. Also, the reason why it's very important to click that post notifications bell, because I am going to be doing a giveaway, a bunch of giveaways. So I'm going to be doing an Xbox or maybe both. An Xbox PS5 giveaway. I'm going to be doing some Amazon gift card giveaways, some ticket giveaways, some jersey giveaways. So just be on the lookout for that content. You got to make sure you join the live streams, and you got to make sure that you subscribe, and yeah, that's really it. As long as you subscribe, you can get a chance to win. But also you need to make sure you click that post notifications bell, because then you'll get notified when I'm doing the live streams and the giveaways. So make sure that you do that. Okay. So we talked about Brian Burns' contract extension, what that would look like. Basically, it would put him as a top 10 pass rusher in the NFL pay-wise, because next year, like I said, when I was reiterating when we went over, is that it will look like a $110 million contract over 5 years. And the good thing for us, for Brian Burns' contract extension, we're going to have a lot of cap space next year. And we'll have top 10 cap space. So we should be able to sign him an extension, and then really bring in back guys like Frankie Luvu, Jeremy Chin. And then if we want to bring back DJ Chark, we'll be able to as well, depending on how well DJ Chark pans out. And then we went over, should we pursue DeAndre Hopkins, and would he be a good fit? Should we pursue? Yes. We need a true number one guy, and we don't have one. But we do have wide receiver depth, which is great. And I'm just not ready to put all my stock into Terrace Marshall Jr. to be a number one wide receiver, nor am I ready to put any stock on Jonathan Mingo to do the same. Nor am I ready to put in stock in DJ Chark, because can he stay on the field? And we know where Adam Thielen's at. So, and Adam Thielen's more of a slot guy anyway. So it would be good to sign DeAndre Hopkins. The problem is even though he lived close to here and we have the money to sign him right now, the thing is that is Scott Fitter going to sign another veteran defensive end pass rusher to add onto this defense, and a corner to get some depth in that position, but also but can we bring in DeAndre Hopkins? Does DeAndre Hopkins want to come here? I don't think he does, but he definitely fits the narrative here. And then we were talking about Jon Gruden lends a helping hand to Derek Carr over there at the New Orleans Saints, which is pretty interesting to me. And And then we talked about this right here, the joint practice of the Jets and the Panthers, which is going to be awesome for our defense and offense to go up against a good defense, and then our offense to go up against a MVP caliber quarterback. So it's going to be nice to have that. And then going over what CBS projected us in the for our record. So that was kind of interesting. New head coach, rookie quarterback, new wide receiver room. I can see 10-7 wins. Team's already figured out that if you want to run the ball, run it directly at Brian Burns. Yeah, I mean, he's not the best pass rusher or the best. He is not the best run stopper. I will give him that. Wow, this guy's predicting Atlanta to go 10-7. Okay, he goes, call me bullish the Falcons season. Even with the quarterback depth chart consisting of Desmond Ridder, this roster has a real Titans Equus field. Improve things signed by John Robinson. So they're basically thinking that the Atlanta Falcons are going to become the Tennessee Titans all over again because of Bijan Robinson. And they're going to win 10 games. Interesting. And then let's see where they got the Saints at. 7-10. They got the Saints 7-10. And then where do they have the Tampa Bay Bucks? 5-12. Interesting. Pretty interesting. All right. Well, guys, that is lunch break today with me. Appreciate everyone coming and joining the live stream. Like I said, make sure you pound that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and click that post notifications bell so you don't miss out on any new live streams or videos that I post. Also, be on the lookout for some giveaways. Also, be on the lookout. Also, check out betusa.com. That's the sponsorship of today's live stream, so go check it out. The link is down in the description. Sign up for free today. You get a free $50 bet. And promo code Pantherology will also hook you up with another free bet. So go check it out. Other than that, guys, appreciate one coming and joining the live stream, and keep pounding.